Hello, everybody. I want to do this budget live. My prediction, and a lot of people are messaging me. People are thinking there's going to be an election. I hate to burst your bubble. Mark Carney's 169 with Elizabeth May 170, and then easy sailing past the next two threshold will be all NDP. Leaderless. They want to be relevant. They want the Mark Carnage payoff. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. It's bye-bye Bloc and Conservatives. For folks who don't know, Bloc wants a tremendous amount of socialist transfer to Quebec. So people understand, Canada is finished. It's been finished. There's a reason why I do Canada, the 51st state, because your political system is and has always been broken and rigged. They don't have party lines. They don't have anything but theater for you, me, the fools, the jokes, the slaves, those who will pay for their wealth accumulation at your and I expense. That's how it is. I can assure you this budget is already passed. It's already passed. You're just going through the theater of the crown. They are tremendously good at fooling all of you. Me conserve, me say no. Me liberal, me say yes. NDP, we'll split the difference, Bloc. Gimme, let me steal. I want money, me. Everybody's got their hands in your pockets. Elizabeth May claims Paris Climate Accord is what got her on board. Well, geez, Elizabeth May, it was Stephen Harper who started Paris Climate Accord. He's the first to sign on with that. Hello, Canadians. Hello, you're being cucked. You're being played. I'm angry. If only we had the Conservatives in. Mass immigration, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050. If you haven't noticed, all Conservative premiers are on that narrative created by Stephen Harper. There's no such thing as liberal Conservatives. That's for fools. The easily bamboozled, average everyday subject in Canada. You think you're getting a narrative. There's only one narrative. There's always only been one narrative. Crown get rich, you get poor. And the better they are at cucking you, the more positions of power they get. That's always been Canada. I have never seen in all my research from 1867 till today, liberal, conservative, liberal, conservative, liberal, conservative, liberal. Liberals have had it 2/3 of the time, folks. But the reality is, whoever gets the majority doubles down on all the agendas against all of you. And it's at an exponential rate, if you haven't noticed. Our major transition started in the 90s. The evil of the old world is upon you. It's not a new world order. Globalism is not new. That was entirely the world before World War II. And your crown loves that. They all want that. They don't want any rights for any of you. You have a right to shut your mouth. Pay your taxes and allow us to debt load and borrow against you, your children, and their children's future until they ain't got one. Till you're back to the old world order, where you got nothing. You live on the Lord's land, and you go, yes, master, I'll work for food, master. They beat you, they rape your children, rape your wife, rape you. And I don't mean just in financial terms, I mean physically. This has always been a truth of the crown. Historically, forever and a day, the most evil system known to man. And it's never, ever, ever going to change. The only change is the people coming together. Best solution now, presidential invite, Canada, the 51st state. This budget will pass resoundingly yes, because it's rigged. It's always been crown rigged. They give you the illusion of change. Conservatives, well, change everything. Stephen Harper got to power in 2006, okay? Everything he campaigned on never materialized. He turned into a socialist and fascist liberal. Paris Climate, Kyoto, all of it, all on to Agenda 2021. He's there. What happened to everything he campaigned on? What happened to all his narratives for the West that paid for his ascension? All went in the garbage, and he turned into a supersized liberal. If you didn't know about the bailouts and the borrowing, they're on the levels of Mark Carney's budget. Oh yeah, he did that. Oh no, look, he balanced a couple budgets, but he did capitalization. Wow, who's the Bank of Canada governor under Harper doing that for the bank bailouts, the automotive bailouts, the housing crisis? Remember? Oh yeah, it's Mark Carney. And Mark Carney's doing the same capitalization. Look, we're not spending any more money. We're not, operating expenses are really low. We've just ginormously borrowed astronomically. The same cuckolding we gave all Canadians under Harper. Trudeau went the liberal way. In your face, massive debt loading and taxation on operating expenses. But if you're going to supersize debt load for capital expenses that pay for all the supersized expenses, please, somebody in the room, tell me how that's any different. It isn't. Fools. Canadians are the most foolish and gullible people known in the free world, if you want to call it that. Because I only see that in the United States. I see a tremendous reset under Donald J. Trump going very, very well. You're going to see at tax time, we're going to see how the Supreme Court rules that is now talking. This is what I'm getting from academics all over the United States today. That's why I don't even care about Canada's budget, because I already know that's rigged. It's going through, as it will always go through. And then they put on the theater so that those who are angry don't rebel. Just got to get the Conservatives in. Even though they're going to do the same thing Mark Carney's doing. He was a 16-year Conservative. Flip-flop to Liberal to win it. Because he sees the writing on the wall. And then he does all the Conservative narrative he did under Stephen Harper. He is the architect of the old world order. He's the architect of all, from Agenda 2021, 2030 to now 2050. I have people who are still going, why won't you talk about Agenda 2030? Because it's already been achieved. They moved on 6 years ago. Yeah, Canadians are that easily fooled. They've already moved on to the next level, Agenda 2050. Yeah, if you don't know what that means, I'll tell you. It's called Hong Kong Coffin City under the UK, with no resources available for any of you. You gave them away to the entire world for literally pennies on the dollar. And worse than that, now under Mark Carney, you're now debt loading and borrowing to get jobs to expand that for the third world. Eh? Wow, what a knockout punch. How silly and foolish Canadians truly are, from all aisles, all walks. Elizabeth May, Paris Climate Accord. Paris Climate Accord was put in by Stephen Harper, 2006. Where you been? You were there. You enshrined that. You're such a liar. And what really gets me is the media posts that, and a majority of Canadians believe it. They believe it. That the politicians treat you all like stupid, dumb, mentally handicapped children. Adult diaper brain wearing children. But the TV, the draw, if I just vote Conservative, if I just vote NDP, if I just vote Bloc, if I just vote for independence, if I just vote for autonomy, if I just vote for sovereignty, none of it is ever going to be true. Not under the constitutional monarchy known forever and a day as Canada, 1867 till today. You'll never get it. There is not one premier who wants that. And I've told this for a decade straight. I've never had an Alberta premier or a Quebec premier, and I do know Francois Legault. When he got his majority, I was helping that party along, and of course, he turned into a piece of shit. I've gone to every current premier in Canada with my Constitutional Conventions Act, as well as my dear friend Richard Albert, decolonizing Jamaica, turning into the Republic with no crown, and Barbados. Yeah, they're working on that. Many Americans put on that project. My dear friend Richard Albert created the provincial constitutions, and would bring a professional team to any province in Canada. We do it together. The American government knows exactly what I've put forward in my Constitutional Conventions Act, and they know exactly what Richard Albert has put together for how-to provincial constitutions for all Canadians. And you know what we got? From every single premier, from every single party, all Conservatives. Daniel Smith was the first, and also the first to throw it in the garbage. You think America loves you, Alberta? They know your premier is evil. And they know a majority of you are behind it. They know a majority of you are band together in the owners of AI who are tied to absolutely Dominion voting machines, election fraud in the 2020 election, and much, much more. By names. These are conservative insiders. CPC and Absolutely United Conservative Party of Alberta. Farming, all of it. The other one in Red Deer, completely corrupt, completely on board with China, absolutely at the tremendous destruction of Canadians, as are a lot of Conservatives. And I highlight this because all Liberals are gone. We all know that. But a vast amount of Conservatives are gone too and have always been gone. I haven't seen a decent, and he's not perfect, but I haven't seen a decent Conservative premier since Premier Ralph Klein, Alberta. That was the end, and he was destroyed by the party insiders, the evil, the rot of it. They destroyed that man, had him thrown out of the party. They voted him out. If you don't know, this is before he deteriorated. I don't know what to tell you. Conservatives are just the same as Liberals. They're just lying to themselves, and they lie to everybody they can. Liberals are comfortable with the lies. They're open about it. They love it. And they get away with it. NDP is complete backflip. They're not no Labour Party. Haven't been for a long time. They scrapped anyone on that narrative long ago, decades ago. It's been a corrupted party. Flip-flopper, just as Bloc is too. And every other federal and provincial party. If you don't know this in Canada, I don't know what to tell you. Your country is gone. And that's why Canada, the 51st state. You will see tonight, budget will pass easily. All the NDP will jump on board. It's a fact. They have no leader. They don't want to lose more. They don't want another election because they're not ready. And they got to protect what little they have left in the crown thieving pantry of the perverted, sick, socialist and fascist Canadian politicians from all parties, left to right and center, and everything else you can concoct. There's only one narrative. It's called Crown. Think of it as Satan Legion, one voice, many players. And they fool you, just like the devil. Because really, that's that nefarious. And if you don't know, these academics that USA has sent out into these monarchical offshoots of that evil empire system are exploring and finding out that the mechanisms of change were cemented in such a way it's so made where, oh sure, it's there, but the process of getting it done, just like Canada, 51st state. Oh sure, just get an auditor. Oh, but it's got to be a crown sworn auditor who has an oath of allegiance and a company in a province that's registered under the crown. And if they break that allegiance, they lose their business and they lose their standing in academia, meaning they can't practice their profession anymore. But if you can find one who's willing to risk it, that's how it is in all of these crown assets. As America goes out to decolonize them, they're finding all these things in place. That it gets to the point where it's the people in bloody revolution. If you look at all those African states that went that way, those Southeast Asian countries that went that way, 87 now today, you'll find tremendous civil war or government overthrow, and then the republics come in. And only when it's violent, almost 87% of the time since World War II, as ugly as that is. And Canadians are just too daft, too comfortable. I got a job. The Crown told me it's going to work out. Eat my children if I have to, as long as I'm okay. The Bible is something you just throw in a fire. I go to church and I pretend I follow all that, but I really don't. Right? I really don't. And this isn't just Christianity. It's all major religions in Canada. They've all been conditioned into it. They're all working for the crown at some level. You pick one and I'll show you. And it's sick, it's diseased, it's evil, it's rot. And that is going to be, and always will be, and always has been, Canada as a constitutional monarchy. Problematic corruption. If you don't know this, it's always been the truth of monarchies. You are Canada, a constitutional monarchy that is trying to destroy you, the people, by any means necessary, and make the rich rich, which is the crown and their loyalists. Nothing more, nothing less. That's my video, everybody. God bless. We'll see how the night unfolds, but you won't catch me staying up for it because I already know what I'm going to roll out to in the morning. It's already rigged. I'm telling you. And Elizabeth May with the stupidest comment ever as to why. Paris Climate Accord. Jeez, Elizabeth, it's only been in place since Stephen Harper's stupid. But Canadians are stupid. I may catch these things right, snap of a finger. I know, right? And it makes me really sick and angry that my fellow Canadians are this foolish, this ignorant, and this dumb. Really. Again, adults with childlike mentality with diapers for brains. Dirty diapers for brains. But we'll see, everybody. God bless. Share. Get the video out there. Let's see how the night unfolds. I'll leave it to all of you. And I hate to say I told you so, but you will see.